Hi, my name is Damon Rocha, and this is my GPE104 final project. Let me just share my screen. So for this week, I added a few more features to my game. These included creating this grenade shot class that just took functionality that the regular grenade already had. And instead of it blowing up on a timer, this one actually just blows up on impact. So anytime it hits, just runs this explode component, this explode function. I showed that last week, so I'm not going to get into that. And then along with that, I cleaned up the code throughout all the application, added some folders throughout these two blueprint sections to get it a little more modular, a little more easy, organized. Sorry. And then in my weapon component, I added a secondary fire function. This function runs fairly similar to the fire weapon, but instead it shoots the grenade shot that I was just showing that blows up on impact, a little smaller than the grenades. And the gun will shoot on click of the right mouse button. Will shoot 5, and this is set by the designers, and it will shoot it in a random spray angle. So it's kind of like a thing of like a cone. It's using this random unit vector and cone degrees, and it just creates that based off of the muzzle direction of the gun, and then this max spread variable, which is this max spread angle. And it makes a rotator from that for the x around the x-axis, and returns that to set the transform for where the grenades are at. So this just makes it where it's a little random when you shoot it. And then after that loop finishes, it plays the sound so that we don't just hear the sound go 5 times. It's just spawns all 5 of them, shoots them forward, and then the sound plays. Along with that, I tried to add like a different weapon, but ended up not figuring it out in time. So I just put these together, the grenade, like the secondary fire, into the full automatic weapon. But before I had tried to make like a launcher component and create another pickup rifle, but it ran into some problems with that I couldn't get past. So I ended up jumping from that to just putting it in the regular weapon as the secondary fire. Now, next thing I wanted to cover was grenade pickup. So actually, before I cover this, let's cover the grenade holder. So I wanted the player, to only have a certain amount of grenades. So I have the max grenade count, and the grenade count, and all this component does is track how many grenades that the player has. And then every time one is used, it runs this. Every time I throw the grenades thrown, I created this use item interface. And since this is connected to the player, the grenade thrower class actually now calls this use item at the end. So right here. And that just takes 1 away from the grenade count every time the use item function is called. And then I also created this pick up item for the grenade pickup. And that allowed me to create this grenade pickup component, which is just, or pickup actor, that is just this here. Oh wait, it's already open. So it's just this pile of grenades. And all it does is whenever the player overlaps the sphere, it checks to, or well, whenever any actor overlaps that sphere, checks to see if it has this usable interface, does it loops through those, and does pickup item or the pickup count that is again, should have been set by the designer, but I actually left that out. So set by the designer, and then once that is completed, destroys this actor. And yeah, that's pretty much it for the grenade holder. It really just keeps track of the count and then handles what to do whenever you're using a grenade, whenever you're picking up a grenade. Only other major change I did was instead of throwing the grenade by just pressing Q and it did it every time, I actually made it release. So this input action throw, instead of it being triggered on press, it's now triggered on release. So whenever you let go of Q, it'll throw the grenade and over again. And actually, I don't think I had this input action before. I want to say it was just press Q. So I also added that in. So I'm going to walk through, actually, I just downloaded this. So let's go here. Let's close this down. Save selected. I'm going to have to share my other screen real quick because I don't think it's going to let me put it on my second screen. Okay, so this is now my full game, and this is what I just downloaded from itch.io. So this is live on there. Has all my changes and everything I just talked about. So we start on this menu screen, and again, it's pretty, you've seen this a couple times at this point. So this weapon still shoots the automatic, but then along with that does this cluster bomb type of thing. I didn't have time to implement ammo, but so I just picked up those grenades, and I can show those real quick. Let's run through these physics barrels, and now I should have 10 grenades because I picked up 5 and I started with 5. I also wanted to get like try to put like something in the UI that tracked how many grenades you had, but I didn't have enough time to end up doing that. Let's see, I keep pressing Q, no more grenades are coming out, but I still have these cluster bombs. And I'm not going to go through the whole game. Let me just go somewhere where the enemies can kill me. Let's get rid of that one and let this end. Actually, I gotta die 2 more times. So one more after this. And there we go. So exit out the menu, quit the game. And that's the what I have for the game overall. Let me share my other screen real quick one last time. So I went through and updated my board's website to get a little more, show other objectives that this project I'm working on now can fit into. So this is where I had it last time. But then I also added it to design, develop, and implement the architecture and infrastructure, objective 2, and added it to objective 4 for using software development processes. I kind of added some explanations and a few different screenshots for both of them. This one has a lot of the same ones, but I also added the UI pictures. And actually, I can touch on this as well. And then for my repo for this, I ran into a lot of issues with uploading the code because of the large file sizes. So I, in the end, left out quite a bit in as far as like the content. So any of like the assets I imported or the sound or anything, I left all that out because it just wasn't letting me upload it. But I was able to get all my code in, and this is all up to date other than what I just changed. And I got the config, platform, and the git ignore view project, and then the readme. And that's about it. I guess the last thing I can do is show my update here. So I now have the game I just showed you. It's what I downloaded from here, and then showed that made these small changes here. And that's about it. This was a fun project. I might build on it some more later on, but I think I need a break from it. Yeah, and no bugs or errors at this point. I did want to point that out. I didn't find any issues because any bugs I ran into, I kind of fixed them as I went. And then as far as project organization, that's kind of what I was showing with the folder structures. So let's go back real quick. So in content and blueprints. So instead of having everything in one spot, some of the interfaces. Actually, I realized that for some reason on the repo, not all these are in the right folder, which might just be due to redirectors or something. I probably need to go through and figure that out. But for now, it's all here, and like all the blueprints are in like where they should be. And then I did leave like the weapon and combat stuff with the first person because like this is all stuff the first person uses. And yeah, that is it. I'm gonna go through and try to fix these blueprints being in the wrong place. I'm assuming it's just something to do with the redirectors, so I can probably do that and then upload the changes I just made. Other than that, that is my final project. If you want to try it out, go ahead and download it here, and I would love any feedback on this. Thank you very much.